last week, me and the ladies was having a talk about using children as pawn, but we kind of got off subject and we started talking about when a child should be the next parent. You've been raised by me, which I'm your mom, and I had different relationships. Probably not that many, but can you tell me the effect that it may have had on you now that you're an adult?
It had its pros and its cons. It was nice. I'm gonna start with the pros. Some of the pros was it was nice to have some sort of father figure around, and not only for myself but for my siblings as well. To do things as a family, like we used to go out. It was nice to see my mom have a companion. It seemed like the workload of dealing with daily life with children and things weren't as hard when she had someone around. And the cons were that whenever it was a shift in their relationship, it didn't only affect my mother, it affected us too. So that is a con. So whenever he did something to hurt her, it affected our relationship with him as well. So the attachment we had with this person is broken now, and now we got to start fresh with someone else. But just like you get, I'm not gonna say tired of starting over, but it's like the next one that comes along, you're not as willing or as open to them as you were the first time, because you figure, well, how long is he gonna be around? Is he gonna treat us like his? We can definitely tell when a person doesn't view us as their own, even if our mother doesn't notice it, because their relationship, feelings and stuff is a whole different, it's set aside from the relationship with him and her kids. So their relationship plays a whole different part, and with the relationship with us children, it's a whole different world. Like him, based off of how he interacts with us, or if we feel comfortable around him, or to come and tell him something, or try to open up the gates where it could be a little closer than my mom's friend, or the standoffish point of like, okay, my mom's dating him. The transition of where it goes from, I would be willing to call him stepfather, or even address him or see him in that light as stepfather. It definitely takes a while to get there, because it's not your real father. It's the paranoia of, am I finna feel like I'm not his child? Is he gonna treat me differently than his children?
So would you say, with you saying that, because now you're 21 years of age, would you say that your outcome of you now was any of the effects of the guy that I had implemented that was not your father? Did anything bad to you, or what are your views on that?
Overall, how did you get a good effect out of it? Is it something that you think made your life worse, or do you think that after seeing everything and how it was, that you understand and it was something?
Now that you're an adult and you're not so much, because we had other guests at different age level, but for you being in your adulthood now, do you understand the transitions you went through, or?
I understand it now that I'm an adult, because my mom has to have a life outside of our fathers. Even though we would prefer to see our own father in home, what he did, their mistakes in that past, once we were in the picture, that I don't have no control over that. Every kid, I can say myself, I would have preferred to see my father in the picture. That's every kid's dream, to have their actual father in the picture. But I feel like it affected me in a positive way to have some sort of male around for a certain period of time, because there was questions I had for my own father that I didn't know, and there's certain questions my mom couldn't answer, and there's certain things I had to see. Certain things I learned from how I seen them treat my mother, whether it was not to let a man treat me like that, or to let a man treat me like that. And I felt like if I had not seen that, I would have been thrown to the wolves when it came to dating, because I wouldn't have known what to accept or what not to accept. So it kind of went both ways. The cons was like, that I'm an adult, I probably wouldn't have been mature in most aspects, like in certain viewpoints. I can't expect my mom, because I had a childish mentality before then. I didn't want my mom dating anybody that wasn't our father. I felt like they never gonna love us as their own kids.
So you already had these thoughts in your mind about the stepfather. He didn't even have to do anything to you. You were already against him when he first got there.
So I have a question. You made two interesting points that stood out to me. One, when you said that you could feel that he felt like you weren't his. Like how did you get that feeling? Is what I'm saying. What made you feel that way?
It could be things as discipline. I could sense when you're more tender with your child, then you could care less about that other child's feelings. Like, say for example, you'll be more lenient, and I'm not gonna say for all parents, but you'll be more lenient with your child when it comes to discipline, and more of careless when it comes to somebody else's.
So
child.
you're saying if it was a guy in the relationship with your mom that had other children, you see how he disciplines his children and how he would discipline you guys, being your mother's children.
Or when I would see stuff like, if you would take your son out to get a haircut, and my brother hair is all over his head, why wouldn't you, that thought that came in your head of, oh, my son needs his haircut. If you love my mother and you see y'all being family, why wasn't my brother included that thought in your head? Like, why was it just about this specific child? If you see us as your children, this should also be your son in your head too. You should want both of them to look good, because if you're gonna be with my mother, it's an outlook of the family. That means if they see our family just like they see my mom's daughters, it's an outlook of her. So if we walking around looking like trash, what are you gonna think they're gonna think of my mom? So if your son walking around looking nice and my brother's looking dressed up, they gonna be thinking, who, this your son too? Why is his hair, why is he not,
Together.
yeah.
Looking.
It's obvious that it's somebody else's child.
So the other thing you said was when you had this childish mentality, when you were younger, so to speak, and you were upset that you didn't have your own father in your life. So how did that make you feel towards your mom? Did you have any resentment toward her?
Oh boy, we had some transitions, but that's another story.
It was because I had to learn that people who aren't really around make very few mistakes. So the mistakes my mom was making was kind of in my face, and so I kind of held them over her head. And then I wasn't realizing the mistakes my father was making. I was seeing them on the road because they wasn't blatantly. I wasn't with him, interacting with him every day. So as I got older, I realized that's why it seemed like he was a good guy or I was a bad guy, because you weren't even around. Everything she was doing was I was actively living in it.
Right.
And it wasn't so much I felt. Of course, I asked my mom why. I wanted to know why it didn't work out. Like why, everybody want to know why their dad not around. So I started seeing it more on his part as I got older. Because at first I was mad. Like I want to go with my dad. Don't even know what's over there. I don't know how his life is because I was never a part of it to begin with. And so as I got older, I realized if he, as a father, wanted me a part of his life, it didn't have anything to do with him and my mom's relationship. He could have came over there and made a relationship with me. He could have came and picked me up. He came and involved me. So it was more of an understanding thing as I got older, because I realized, why am I taking out anger on my mom, who is here in my life, whether I like what she says or not. She's here, and you're not.
And with that was the main thing from kind of the views we had when I was seeing how you introduce somebody to your child. Is because sometimes when we leave relationships or whatever we got going on, I really don't think we listen to the kids' feelings. Like, she's 21, I'm just now sitting at the table listening to her say, oh, I get it now. When as a parent, I'm like, why is she getting this much hell? Why is this going on? Like, what am I doing? I would not think that she feel like, oh, well, you making this happen to me because of a choice I made. And it's not like her father wasn't there. He was there, but I'm the primary parent. And now I have this other guy I'm dating. And like they said, we may not see everything. But I do thank you. And we have another guest that's not so grown.
Hey,
And your name?
my name is Destiny.
Again. Guys, do you have questions for Destiny or?
Destiny, let's just start off with the question that we asked Vanita. What are your views on having a father figure, your mama's boyfriend in the household, helping her raise you. How do you feel about that?
Well, when I was younger, I actually loved having two separate households. My daddy and his girlfriend, and my mama and her boyfriend. It was actually a good time because I seen as like her boyfriends, I seen as like a father to me because they were also caring and they would cook for us, feed us, and would also discipline us. So I really liked having those father figures since my dad was not in the picture.
And then what about, you said your dad was dating as well, so what about the figures on the other side?
I haven't really had problems with his significant others besides just one. But they treated me as their kid also. We would go out to eat together, watch movies together. It was just like having two families.
So what impact do you think it had on you watching two families? I mean, having two families when a traditional family just have mom and dad. Like, you don't think it was something seen over here and then something, how did you make it as to know which way was right? Because I'm sure it was two different households.
Well, my mother, she's kind of, strict or whatever. So she would like hide a lot of things. Like, she wouldn't let us see certain things. She would keep it at a minimum. And my dad, he was just a wild type. Let me see a lot of things, a lot of different women. And I knew that wasn't wrong because a woman shouldn't want to be treated like that. When I was younger, it was okay, but now I understand like who wants to be treated like that.
So it's kind of, still in all what you're saying is, it almost was like you haven't spoken really badly about anything. So it was like a plus for you to have two families.
Yes, my story, it was a plus to me.
You say you had someone that wasn't so nice to you. How did you handle that?
I mean, I couldn't really handle it because I was young and I respected my elders. But
did you tell?
I did look at her differently.
Okay. So you didn't act out. That's because.
No.
You kept it to yourself.
Yes, but I looked at her differently. Just never really spoke to her.
So I mean, that's a question to me because
Yeah.
she is the sibling of Benita. So how did they interpret things two different ways?
That's why it's interesting to me, because she said someone treated her a certain type of way. Where I know Benita, that wasn't happening.
Yes.
If someone treated her another type of way, I was gonna know about it. Destiny has never verbalized being treated different ways. So I want to understand, how do you know the difference to not? Well, I'm not gonna go tell my mom this person did this, and she knows I'm a caring mother.
Well, I really didn't want to start anything between my mom and my dad because I liked the way that things were going. So it was like something small. It wasn't big to cause a major scene about.
But you were a kid.
But maybe she had realized that he keep going through. She knew that she was gonna be gone.
Yeah.
So maybe she was like, I ain't even gonna make no fuss. She'll
Oh,
be out of here in a
won't be
minute.
So this person is gone now, right? Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Well,
So it was just a. It
I
was
have a
just a.
sister by her, but she's
Goodness.
gone.
She said I got a sister by her.
So I think what you were saying, Nicole, was I think the way they viewed it was Nene said that her father wasn't really in her life, whereas Destiny had full access to hers. So maybe
that was the difference.
But
the
Benita
difference.
had full access too. That's why I'm trying to see the difference.
Yeah.
Like the same amount. It was the same amount.
So the
But
only difference
Benita's
is.
take on it was
They're both
totally
her children.
different, so
She's
that's
the
why
mother.
I'm
The
interested to
family,
see.
the mother didn't change. How her mother do things didn't change.
but
So the only difference would be
the father
fathers.
aspect.
Like
Right.
Nene over here, she's the only child. So when she came back, it was reprogramming. Like it's other kids here, it's just not gonna happen.
Okay.
So in Benita ad going to therapy, she had told me like, this is the great parent and you're the worst parent.
Who said that?
Benita, because you're so uptight and serious. So she just verbalized, the difference. But with Destiny saying it was an equal platform. But I want to know, as a parent, how did you know not to go tell your mom something was done to you?
Well, she just told you because
She said she
wouldn't
didn't.
be
But
here.
right, so I'm curious as a kid. Like, it's hard for kids to intake.
well, she said she would
Right, so I get you.
anything, but thank
Kids
you,
know what they don't
Destiny.
want to see their
Thank you,
parents
Destiny,
fighting.
for coming and
Thank you,
telling us your
Destiny.
side of the story. We also have another guest.
Yeah. Now we're here with Jessica, and you're not a stepchild, right?
No.
Okay, so not being a stepchild, but you have step brothers and sisters. How did that impact you? Because it's still a blended family.
Well, it really don't impact me because it's still we're not they're considered family, so it really doesn't matter to me if they're step or not.
I don't think she means like that. What she's saying is, how did it affect your life? Because at some point in time, you have siblings that don't live with you, and siblings that you've just met, like right now. When you did meet them and they did come into your life, considering how everything was before, how was the approach or how is it now? Has anything changed or have you been through anything different since you had to share now? Since you, at one point in time, you was the only child, I think Sean left. So how is it now to share your life and everything with someone else? Or has it changed you? Is there any is there any harm in it, or do you think it's okay, everything's just played out?
It is no harm to it. It was everything played out fine, so it was okay for me, and it was good for me.
It was?
Well, you're quite a different child, because even with my siblings, I had a problem.
It was okay. Yeah, all siblings fight, but it was just like it did help me learn to share more because I was usually just me, so I was used to just me, so I didn't really know how to share with others, so I had to learn how to share more with others. So that's what I got.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is, a child coming from a different home, they're raised a different way, and just like Rashad just said a few minutes ago, like when he was with his mom, she was he said she didn't know how to discipline, was his words, but I think he meant she was more passive. And then coming here, he don't have that passiveness. So it's a different home for him. So even him being here, I'm just saying, or even when Zariah was here, was it hard for you to help them get on, how did it affect the different views of how life should go and how you should be disciplined? Or now you're living from this home to this home and you got different rules now. So how did all that go? Or did you see a problem with that?
It was because it was like, since they're coming from a different home, they know their home training or home learning, and then they come to a new environment and they learn new things that they're not used to. So they're really used to their old ways, so they're not used to doing the new ways. So it's like they change it, and it did start a big conflict, but in the end, it was resolved.
Okay. Well,
thank you for being so open with us today.
My name is Jamie Shell.
how you doing?
Good.
How you doing?
You also have a step parent.
Yeah.
Okay, and you heard Destiny and Benita take on it. What is your take and the impact it has on, everything you do?
Well, for my mama, my stepdad, I think I don't have a daddy figure in my life because he just disappeared. So I feel my real dad.
Okay.
So my stepdad, he has been liking my mama for a long time. They got together, and then I feel like he treat us well. He treat us like we're his, but some things I don't like because I feel like if you buy, like Benita was saying, if you buy your children something, I feel like that we should have something as well, So it's just the little stuff like that. I feel like we all should be a family and not separated. That's what I didn't like about it.
We all should be
But
treated equally.
yeah, but my mama also, when my daddy disappeared, my mama also went with this man, and I look at him as my dad now. But he treat me well. He do everything for me. Anything I ask, he do it. It's I view him as my real dad.
This is your stepdad.
No, this was a previous relationship.
Yeah,
So you have two stepdads.
yeah.
Basically.
Okay. And one of them you like more than the other.
Yeah.
So is your mom's not with the one that you really like, though? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I like him. At the same time, if I feel like it's some things that can
He
be
was a
done
good
better.
father figure.
No,
He
so
was-
she's
he
talking about
wasn't.
the current one. But as you're getting older, I want to ask you this. You do understand, like, do your step-parent kids stay with you?
No.
Okay, that's what I want to get at. So as you're getting older, you're mainly around your stepfather and your mom, right? And these kids are in another household, right? So I guess I want to explain to you from adult-wise, if I buy something for that other household, it's not because I don't want to get nothing for you guys, but I'm kind of limited time over here, and I have you to grace every day. So I would not want you to look at it as a complete difference. I'm not shading your feelings, but I want you to look into my feelings, because we adults also have to do things. And I don't know if we sit down and say, well, this is the reason I did this, Jay. So I'm being this person telling you, sometimes if you're not in that household, we still got to do. He's been a great man because he's still doing for the household. So if he buy over here, he's not discrediting you guys, because he's there with you. He's gonna
Yeah,
get
don't
to
get
you.
me wrong. He's not.
No, I get that from you, but I just want to go into the rationale
Yeah.
of what may have happened.
But it's like my feelings towards not having like a father figure. Like sometimes it's like stuff I would want, but knowing that my mama has 2 other kids, she can't do for all of us, like for whatever we want. So I feel like it should be a point where he should step in at a point, like, you know, help out and do something, you know?
I agree.
So he lives with you guys?
No, but he's there every day, like
Okay.
morning time to nighttime. So, but he don't live there.
Okay.
They,
What you saying? He's still actively in your life.
yeah,
Okay.
active, like I could say, like, but I just feel like if you see us struggling, then it should be a
Kick in
time
and
where
help.
you
So-
should kick in and help.
My question is, how do you see? You think your life would be different if you didn't have this stepfather in your life? Or do you believe that this stepfather is adding, something to your life?
No, I feel like my life would be the same
Would be the same.
with the way out, because it's just you got to bring stuff to the table if you're not
Feel that
bringing it
he's
to
not really contributing
Yeah,
anything.
he's not contributing. He's not doing nothing to make a change.
Okay.
So that's why my feelings towards that is still the same. Like I feel like I still don't have that. Like
Okay, so then my next question
that's
is what she was referring to speaking to Destiny about. Have you communicated these feelings with anyone besides us?
well, no, I really don't tell how I feel about that, because nobody will understand if you don't have a dad. But my mama
As far
do.
as talking to your mom about
Yeah,
it.
my mom have a dad, so she wouldn't understand how I feel.
I get you.
Yeah.
I get that. But it's your mom. Believe me, B. She will understand to some, because we have a dad. To not have one, that's how we'll understand. Because I have a dad, so for my kids not to have one, that's really how I understand.
I mean, I know she feel. I know she know like kind of how I feel, but she don't know how I deeply feel. Like,
Okay.
it's like a sensitive part inside of me that I like when I talk about it. It just
I'm gathering that. But I think, like what Shanita is saying, though, that you should really sit down with your mom and tell her exactly how you feel. Pour out to her what it is that you're feeling and what you're thinking.
I just recently
That
poured
way,
out.
if it's anything that
That
she can change,
she might
can
can change it
change
to make
it.
you
and she
feel
can
better.
address him about the
What he's
situation that's
doing.
going on and how it make you feel.
Maybe
about
she don't even
the
know
actions, the
or
things that
see
he's
what
doing.
you're saying. Because sometimes, I'm gonna be honest with you, parents are kind of blindsided sometimes. It depends on, what their focus is on or what they're doing. Not saying it's right, but sometimes they just don't catch on to exactly what it is that you're feeling. Especially if you walk around every day with a smile and you're not saying anything.
You
So
gotta express your
you
feelings.
have to
Right.
express yourself and let her know what's going on. Not saying you're gonna cause a problem, but if you're my child, I want you to give me your feelings. And your feelings are never going to be wrong or right. Only thing I'm going to do is try to correct them. So you guys come up with a plan to fix it.
It is not okay to ever have anything bottled up inside. I just want to tell you.
Communication is the key.
Right.
to
Even if
everything.
it's done nothing but just to make you feel better that you actually told your mom. I mean,
At least
what,
you got that
whatever
off
she,
your
at
chest.
least you, and then now it's time for you to
Yes.
self-heal with that.
And to have closure.
Right.
Because even though you give your feelings, don't mean me as a parent may change things to where you feeling okay. Because like you said, it's other kids. And adults have a whole slew of things that maybe you as kids don't see. But to get it off your chest,
Yeah.
that's the only thing I would recommend. So you can have closure to know, I'm not carrying this no more.
And
Because
how
that's
are
a
you-
lot to carry.
How old are you, sweetheart?
I'm 17 years old.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
17 is good. And that's something else I want to let you know. Your feelings is important. And you probably don't want to tell your mom your feelings because you don't want to hurt her feelings or you don't want to stress. But just know at 17 in life, your feelings count. And when you tell somebody your feelings, it could maybe rattle them if your feelings are sour because of what they're doing. But if that person cares about you and love you, your feelings will matter. And you're going to do something about it. So not only with your mom, not only with your
And
dad,
sometimes-
not even with your friends, with everybody, your feelings count.
Exactly.
Understand
And
that.
sometimes it takes time. It don't just happen overnight for her to change or try to fix the problem. But as long as you let her know, she should be able to, be willing to change
Exactly.
whatever is going on.
Yeah, I recently like told her how I felt about not having a dad or whatever, but it's like I don't know.
It's with this whole situation, it's gonna be something that consumes you. You're now going into adulthood. So some other things to take away from this is make sure you always express your feelings. And secondly, because it don't change with you, don't mean it won't change with the other kids. But because you know better now and you know how this feel, when you get to a certain level where you pursue a family and a husband, this helps, believe it or not. It helps you groom into, because from what you're speaking, you're a mature woman now. So you're going to be even better when you're ready to have that family life. And I thank you for being big enough
Open
to
and
say,
honest.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people with grown-ups can't even sit and have this conversation. So I do thank you. And we have our last guest coming.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you guys?
You want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
My name is Rashad Harrison.
Well, let's start with a question that we ask the ladies. What do you, what are the benefits, the pros and the cons to being in
The impact.
to being in a home with your step parent?
Well, I grew up with my step parent, so it was like I already knew my step parent. Like my step parent was like my father, so like it wasn't a big impact.
When you say you grew up with him, I'm confused.
Like he was my father. Like he
He's
was
he's
there.
speaking of his mother's boyfriend.
Oh, okay. Because you have two sets.
Right.
So that's why I got confused. Like, you grew up with, okay.
I was,
So you look, okay. So how,
That's
you had
more
that.
interesting.
So now you're interacting with the other side. How do you, I mean, is there a difference? You had a story you wanted to share with me, so I guess I'm trying to see.
I guess you started to tell you.
Right. Oh, I'm sorry.
What was I at? I was at
You were saying you were with your stepfather, and he was like your.
yeah, he was like my parents, so it wasn't a big impact until like he left, and that's when things got unstable because he was like a parent. Like my brother, his dad died, so it was just like me and him, and then my mom had two other kids by him, so it was just them two. So he treated the rest of us like we was his sons. So it really wasn't a big impact until he left, and that's when things went off the road. Like a lot of stuff started happening
With you?
with me and my brother.
Okay.
So his leaving, did it change you all to like you are? So when you say stuff went off road, is it you all started acting out?
I think
or
what he's saying is this guy was a good guy to him.
Right.
Uh-huh.
He was like a father to him. So when he passed away, it's like he lost his real father.
Right.
But he's speaking of his stepdad.
Oh,
that
okay.
part I get. I mean, when you say things went off road, I'm trying to get into
Oh,
going
what
off
happened?
road.
Oh, so
Right.
like things went off. Like my mom is like she's like nice, but she like nice, so she don't really know how to discipline us since it's like a lot of us and we growing up. So like a lot of stuff she just really want to discipline us, but she don't know how to because it was. I'm not saying she don't know how to, but
It was
like
his
you know, it's
role.
not a male role model.
A male role model.
So your
too.
household
So you feel like
changed
Your household
once he
changed
left.
drastically when he
Yeah.
passed away.
So you feel like he was definitely a benefit to the household.
Yeah, it was a benefit. So I think things went off well.
You were used to having that male stern role there, and then when it just wasn't the same when he passed away.
So how does it feel being in a household with your real father
And
and your
stepmother.
stepmother?
It feels like weird because I mean I never called him dad, but I just don't. It's like a weird feeling. Like,
Because you wasn't used to him growing up.
But now that you have been able to spend all this time interacting with your stepmother, do you feel like you're starting to see the benefits of having a stepmother as well?
yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
I would like to know benefits.
Benefits. Like some things I don't like. I'll be wanting to leave after go once back with my mom because I don't like your way of rules. I'm not saying they're bad.
Oh, that's okay. You can say.
But they're different from what you think your mom would do.
Because is it because she is like your stepfather who passed away? That stern, you know, the discipline part you're getting from her. Is that the difference? But it's coming from a female version.
No,
What is it then?
I just don't like it.
This girl was crazy.
It's just more stern, just more stern than you used to.
It's more.
Well, it's always changes in life.
Yeah,
You
it
have to learn to adjust, but you know. that
But you
happens.
look all right to me.
Look out there. Like it was.
You have.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
And that in question, like, as we asked Destiny and Benita, like, having step parents, is it something that, you know, you told us already with your stepfather that it was a total loss for you to lose him. But in having step parents now, would it just be the same to you if you were just living with your mom, or do you feel like you have a benefit into having other step parents or parents involved in your life?
It's something you have to put some thought into.
Yeah.
I understand. Okay, well, we definitely want to thank you for coming on and being open.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.